Welcome back to the channel. My name is Caleb Foles, also known as CF3. I'm a wide receiver here at the University of Mount Union. Today I'm sitting down with my classmates, Andrew Datz. Datz, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How you, man?
I'm doing so good. So this is just me testing out the podcast equipment for the Bench to Mike podcast. Check out bench_2_Mike on Instagram. I'll be doing a podcast with my best friend from back home. We're going to go to football games and talk about them. So if you guys are interested, go on Instagram, check it out. So to get to know more about Datz, we're just going to be asking him some questions about his life here on campus, and we're just going to dive straight into it. So Datz, can you share your journey from playing high school football to briefly playing college ball and then transitioning to coaching at your high school, and what motivated these choices?
Yeah, so initially I was pretty passionate about playing football, obviously, and I had a couple offers from Division II schools, but they weren't very impressive schools, so Mount Union was, the gold standard. I've lived here since I was like 14, 15, so coming here, it's like, and a bunch of my buddies who were older than me came here, so I was like, all right, I guess it's probably a good move. So it was more, it was more like, all right, I love doing this, so I'm going to keep doing it in college. And then it kind of transitioned into me not really enjoying my time here. And then I just tried to find something different, which I did. Coaching-wise, I've always loved the game of football, and the coaching aspect of it was very cerebral, which is something that I've always prided myself on. I always, obviously the physicality part and getting in the weight room and becoming a stronger player is also very, very important for younger players, but learning the game on a different level, on a cerebral level, is super, super important. So just learning that aspect of football kind of motivated me to do that. And I got my opportunity at Alliance, at my alumni, so that's pretty cool. So yeah.
Like, what was your time like at Alliance? I actually just followed you on Instagram, not to be a stalker or anything, guys, but I saw that you wore light blue jerseys, wore an F7. You played at Mount Union Stadium in high school.
Yeah.
I like gear. I like football gear, so that's why I was checking it out. But like, what was it like playing for like Alliance? What division are you guys?
We were Division II when I was a junior and Division III when I was a senior. So
Gotcha.
We had the opportunity to play Akron-Hoban football. So, I mean, it was Alliance has always been pretty competitive. We used to be in the Federal League, which if you don't know what that is, that's like McKinley, which McKinley plays Massillon every year, Glen Oak, Greene, Perry, Jackson. I mean, these are really good schools, Hoover too, really good schools who have been around for a really long time. So an Alliance kind of has taken a back seat when it comes to those type of schools. So especially our head coach's ideology was, we have to catch up to those guys. And we made strides, whatever. We won our league, but EBC/NBC wasn't very good at the time. So that was like the gold standard right there. And then trying to win a playoff game as well. So I guess, and also the people, a community in Alliance, especially if you're a player that, has a huge impact on the team, it's awesome. Like the teachers love you. The faculty loves you. The, just outside community, the parents of other players, they love you. They come to team meals, they hang out with you. So honestly, being in Alliance and moving from playing local to Alliance was, I would do it again 1,000 times over. So, yeah.
So, I'm trying to figure a way to say this without being like, oh, you quit. Like, so.
I did.
Yeah. So you played at Alliance, and did you guys do well? Like.
Yeah. So, until my senior year, we kind of faded off there. But I mean, we won the EBC/NBC 4 years in a row. So.
Oh, heck yeah.
And then we made a playoff spot every single year that I was, since freshman to senior, we made a playoff spot. So, I mean, I'd say for Division III, we were pretty good.
Heck yeah. So then you went to Mount Union. You played a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now that you're coaching, at least there's a problem with my small town. Is a lot of people that go to college and come right back and then do the same style of football they were doing back when they were playing in the 90s and 2000s. Dude. So as a coach, how do you, who went to high school, played at your high school, played a year in college, how do you continue to learn and grow to help out and like learn new branches of football and new ways and new styles to bring to your high school? Is there anything you do to like help with that? Do you watch like Like any Instagrammers, like YouTubers?
I'm a huge D-line guy, so I follow a lot of D-line accounts. But all in all, I guess this year I had the opportunity to coach the DBs. So essentially I was helping the varsity out a little bit, and then I had to coach the freshmen myself. So I was a defensive coordinator for the freshmen, which isn't, the biggest deal in the world, but especially for somebody who's just now starting coaching. And I was a volunteer last year at the 7th grade level. So it was a pretty big opportunity, and I learned a lot about the back end of the defense. So translating from going to, kind of tight end O-line type of guy and D-line guy to the back end of it that expanded the game huge for me. Like I'll watch the NFL games and I'll be like, all right, that's cover 2, that's cover 4. It's man or cover 1. You know what I mean? That split coverage, like it's honestly, it's made the game even better for me. So
that's crazy that you're saying that from a coaching perspective, because me and my friend Soy Sauce, who was on here, check him out. It was a YouTube video a little while ago. We talk about this all the time. We have a couple Instagrams we watch where like they break down coverages, and we're still learning that as like players. Like, hey, like I'm lining up, I gotta run a post. How can I run a post against cover 2? How can I run against cover 3? How can I identify cover 3? Like that's crazy that you're saying that from like a coaching perspective, and you were a D lineman. Like that's crazy.
I know.
So,
yeah. I mean,
it's different.
I know it really is like, and I also played a little bit like a receiver. I guess I played in the slot.
You played slot and D line.
I mean, it's a Division III high school, so you're playing. I played both sides of the ball for 2-ish years.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was playing. I mean, it was tight end. It was tight end, and they kind of flexed me a little bit, so it wasn't like a true slot player. So, just learning, even is the middle field open or closed? There's literally like, it changes all your routes. Mm-hmm. That is it zone? Is it is it man? That changes the way you run the route. That changes your release. I mean, that's huge. Like those little things in football could be a difference between 6 and negative yards. So
that's very true.
Yeah.
This year you coached DBs, you said. So did you like have to tell your DBs, okay, this is how the receiver might approach this route based on how your coverage is? Did you kind of talk that through with them, or is it kind of more just like basics? Like how do you coach DBs?
I wasn't, I guess, directly coaching the DBs, but I got the opportunity to help out on the scouting report for the varsity.
Oh, okay.
So what the DBs, I guess, corners and safeties coach would kind of have me look at is any tendencies that the receivers would have. Would they wipe their hands? Would they play with their cleats? Would they tap their helmet? Whatever it is. Same thing with the quarterback as well. So those little things, although they come far and few between, they kind of help your game as well. Mm-hmm. Just the same thing as finding what your release should be, or what kind of leverage you should have on a certain down and distance.
Okay. Scouting's gotta be interesting. I didn't know how to go about scouting, because I was thinking if I get into coaching, it's probably like one of the first jobs I get. I was like,
it's deep, dude. It gets deep. Like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to think. I mean, tendency wise, especially like Huddle's pretty good about it. Like you can break it down play by play, the tendencies and what they run on the hash, or if they're past the 50, in between the 50 and the red zone, like what do they run on the right hash on the 45? Like, it gets pretty deep into it, but that stuff's pretty easy to handle. But it's the stuff that the game, but within the game, I guess you could call it, that's the stuff you kind of have to really pay attention to and rewind, and then go through, then rewind, and then, that's the part that's pretty intense, I guess, with scouting.
Okay. I guess I have a question then. So my high school, we're very ground and pound. Like, we only throw probably like on 3rd and long. Like, I'm saying like wishbone or wing tee, we're ground. So like, what's the difference between like a scouting and ground and pound team versus like a balanced offense? Like if someone, let's say balanced spread versus the wing tee. Like are you just saying, oh, they run the ball a lot? Like what do you tell your coaches? Like,
yeah, I mean, it's a lot different than just putting 8 in the box if they're running wing tee or whatever. But it also depends on what kind of wishbone or wing tee that they're running too. Or like maybe double I or pro or whatever. I mean, even if they're running stuff like that. First off, having the personnel and knowing what personnel you have is probably the number one thing. This year's past Alliance, I'll just bring this up. We had some injuries, especially on the D-line side of the ball, and we couldn't really stop plays like that. So having those guys is the first thing. And if you don't play around it, maybe you have better backers than you do D-line. Maybe you have better DBs, safeties that can come downhill and fill. It just all depends on who you have, I think.
Did you ever hear Larry Karras? His thing is players, formation, plays. Did you ever hear about that?
Yeah.
How does that kind of stand with you as a coach?
I guess the way I thought of it whenever I would hear it as a freshman, I thought of it differently. Like, oh, okay, it makes sense, but it doesn't like
mean anything really.
Yeah, mean anything to me. But as a coach now, I look at him like, yeah, like if you got players, okay, that's your first step, and then everything else will follow. Especially if you're a good coach, and you connect with the kids. That's the most important thing for me. Like, I had a D-line coach. Shout out Mr. Rossetti. He probably won't see this, but still.
Share it with him. You can share it with him.
We had almost like a father-son connection, and like that made me want to play harder just because I'm like, all right, he's teaching me these things. Like, I gotta strap it in and go. Like, I gotta do what he taught me. So that first aspect, like I said, is interpersonal aspect of coaching is super, super important.
Yeah, it's so much bigger than football sometimes. So much bigger.
It is.
I feel the same way about my coaches sometimes. Well, like my high school ones, like I'd run through a brick wall for them.
Right, yeah. And you would, right?
Yeah,
I mean.
Yeah, heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Especially coming from, I'm a receiver from a wishbone offense. So I'd go in, tell the quarterback to play, go line up and go block. And like a spectator, actually, I already said this in the podcast previously, but he doesn't know. A spectator, like a broadcaster, was like, Caleb Fultz, number 3, playing wide guard. Like I was just like, because everybody's like, how could you do that? Like, it's so boring being a receiver, like in a run heavy team. But like, I just love blocking for my teteammates. I love my team.
There's nothing better, dude. I mean, it's playing as a tight end. I got to do that a lot, and I coach with one of the left tackles that I used to play with, and I'm best friends with one of the offensive line that I used to play with. So, just being right next to someone you can call a brother, and then kicking someone's butt across from you with that said brother there's nothing better in the world, I think.
Heck yeah. How big was your graduating class? Like
about 210, 220.
See, mine was 36. So do you really feel like you got close to those guys, even though like there's so many? There's a big number of people.
Yeah, I think if I were to go to if I stayed at Glen Oak or something, a big Division I school with, I mean, they probably graduate like 400-ish kids, 500-ish kids, probably have like 100 guys on the team. Maybe, I don't really know. But, I mean, my high school didn't really have that many kids, probably like 40 kids, 9th through 12th. So I guess I was closer with the offensive line and maybe the running back and the quarterback than I was with the wide receivers, just because, I mean, I wouldn't go watch film with wide receivers. I would go watch film with, the O-line coach and the D-line coach. So, I mean, if we had a reunion tomorrow, I would go find those guys and sit next to them. So
for sure. I know that your playing days are over, but it's like, what was your reason for not continuing like college ball? Like, what was your reason?
The game, I guess, wasn't. I don't want to say it wasn't fun anymore.
It was just different.
College ball was different.
It is different.
College ball was different, and I didn't have the right group of friends around me. Although the tight end room there was, I mean, I love those guys. Those are, I mean,
So you came here as tight end?
Yeah, I came here as a tight end.
Okay.
That's how I know Miller so much. And the senior tight ends, they kind of took me under their wing, especially when I was playing on white, and I got like 2 reps that day or something. I mean, they were cool guys, and they understood like, yeah, you're a freshman, but you're kind of one of us too. So they kind of took me under their wing, and that was a cool part. But at the same time, I also didn't have that good of a connection with any of the coaches, which is a super important thing for me to have. That's kind of what I strive to do or to have with my kids that I coach today too. I don't want them to quit because of that.
I just feel like it's so hard, like at the college level, because like high school, it's like you're playing for your community, you're playing for your coaches who graduate from your high school, or like, and everybody's tight knit. At college, is like we picked you to come here and play for us, and then also there's 200 of us on the roster. It's so hard to build those personal connections.
Right, I know. I mean, they do have a hard job. Like I tip my cap to Dart and Karras and Miller and all those guys because they work extremely, extremely, extremely hard on winning that amount of games. And there's no excuse to anything else. But it did seem at times that I was just, a pin in the wheel. Like I was just, the next guy up, and that was it. Just do your job and you're done for that day.
Yeah. I feel that like you're just a number, like you're just a guy to fill a jersey to get that, like either a practice rep or scout look or, but for me it's like you have to buy into a role, and like you have to love the game that much to do that.
Yeah.
And like I was someone that was on the bench all through school until my senior year.
Right.
Like I was a junior on JV.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've always been willing to do that. But I have had a lot of people, like especially here, come to me like, "Hey, you should transfer. Like, have some respect for yourself." But it's at the same time, like I want to win a national championship. Like I want to be part of that.
Yeah.
And I feel like even being on scout team or just filling up the waters or catching balls for Coach Miller, like with a broken pinky, it's like I'm still part of that. Like I still helped out.
I wish my freshmen had the same attitude as you. We had two freshmen, 3 freshmen show up for playoff practices, and we have like 23 on the roster. So it was, I mean, and I do get that. Like I thought I was helping as well. Even playoff time, I was fill-in D lineman. So I wear a black jersey and then get some reps on white, and then go play scout team against the purple offensive line. So I mean, it was something like it. It is important, like helping your team try and get to a national championship or any state championship, a playoff appearance, whatever it is. I mean, that's something that's huge. I mean, even if you're a kid that, I mean, you're not going to get any reps on varsity. Maybe it's not your time yet. Maybe you're not, developed enough. Whatever. That's your chance to show the coaches, all right, I'm serious about this thing, and that's your way in. Any way in you can get, go.
No, I don't want to bring the politics into it, but I kind of do at the same time. Your class and the class before you, my class is kind of okay. Mm-hmm. But, like, you guys were going to play all 4 years, and the class above you is going to play all 4 years, and the same guys you came in with as freshmen are still going to be here because of COVID years. Mm-hmm. Like, I was thinking about this, like, you guys could have no chance of playing, even if, like, you're ripe and ready to go your senior year, just because we have a 6th, 7th year senior because they have a COVID year and a redshirt year, and and like we still have Wayne Ruby here, who's on his, I think, 6th year of eligibility. Yeah. Which, love Wayne, he deserves what he has, and like I hope he makes it. I'm wishing him the best. I'm rooting for him this year. I want to win national championship. But I was thinking about, like, I have a chance because he's gone next year. I still have 2 more years eligibility. I actually have 3 because I redshirted this year. But like for you guys, it was like I was really thinking. I was like, dang, you have like no chance of playing because the same guys are going to be here when you're a senior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean it's the whole COVID thing really messed everything up, especially like ball around here and football, even at Division I level. Like it's, I mean, guys you bring in, it's harder to recruit that way as well. Like I was under the impression, I think there was a senior tight end that they, he had 1 more semester left, and he had 1 more semester left for eligibility, and they're like, come back, just take 12 credits, take BS classes and whatever, and come back. I'm like, dude, he's a senior. Like, just let him go out in the real world. You know what I mean? Like, I want my chance too. And I mean, that also kind of deterred my love for the game, because it's like, all right, I mean, I know you want that guy in, so it's like, what's the point of me being here? Yeah. So.
Yeah. Dang. It's depressing to think about.
I know, it really is, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, dang.
I mean, do you miss playing at all? Like, do you miss high school ball? Or is it kind of like you're content with coaching?
I mean, I love coaching. I really do. Like, I love seeing a kid really struggle with something. Mm-hmm. Like this year, we had a kid. I mean, he struggled filling the hole. Like, he was just struggled seeing it from a linebacker depth level. And at the end of the year, I mean, he finally got it. And it was like, yes, like he gets it. Mm-hmm. And like, I hope he comes back next year too. It's like, I want to coach that kid again. I want to coach that kid for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. Like, that's.
Did you tell him that?
I wish I did, but
you should maybe try to convince him.
Right, I know. I think he will, but it's kids like those that will be like, yeah, I don't really miss playing. I love this coaching thing. So.
Yeah, I was actually observing at my high school over this last summer. I'm probably gonna go back, but I'm gonna go observe at our rival school, which I'm not sure how my coach is gonna feel about that. But like I still get I got texts from seniors because they lost in the playoffs in the second round, and I got texts from a couple of seniors like, hey man, like, you coming back because these guys were sophomores when I was, a senior,
Right,
and they were like, you put a work ethic in me like no other. Like, I thank you for everything. I think you coming back for the summer and coaching me up, and I was like, it's so cool because they come to Mount, one of the best passing offenses in the country, and then I go to a wishbone team that can't throw the ball at all, and I help them work on releases. Because also our receiver coach is like 80, and like he was really good back in his heyday, but with the wing T.
Right.
And yeah, I think he did run some spread as well, because I think he had a couple playoff runs with the spread. But like he's a go block, you know what I'm saying, gator roll kind of guy. But yeah, that was a really cool. That's kind of like my version of that. Like I was really grateful that I made the impact on them to help them
cool,
out.
Man.
Yeah,
that's cool. It really there's nothing else like that, dude. I mean, even if you have a kid that might not behave the best, or even he might not get the best playing time, or he's not developed enough, or whatever the case may be, like having those kids that just listen to you, and maybe they go to you with an issue they have, whether it's outside of school or inside of football, whatever it is. Having those kids is, it's really heartwarming. It really is.
Yeah. Speaking of just the kids and like also playing here at Mount, in terms of numbers, I'm not sure if you saw the email that Mount sent out, but just small schools in general are struggling to have the number of kids to go to college. Like the college eligible kids are like there's very slim number. And I kind of noticed that with this year with football, like we only have like 120 guys coming out to practice because we had so many freshmen quit, but also just we didn't bring in that many. I mean, we still brought in a lot for Mount.
Right. But not as many as usual.
Do you notice that at the high school level at all? Like there's just not a great amount of kids coming out, and man,
it's kind of becoming an issue. Like kids, I don't think they want to come out for football anymore. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's laziness. I don't know if they're scared. I don't know if it's just they just don't really care. But the end of the year playoff roster for Alliance varsity was 32 kids, I think, total. That's 9th through 12th.
Wow.
So, granted, they have a small 11th grade class. But, if you want to play even big time D3, like, you can't have that many kids. You had the starters, and that's it.
I was a Division 7 school, the smallest in Ohio, and we had 36 my senior year. This year, they had low numbers. They had like 13 seniors, 2 juniors. They had a good amount of sophomores, almost like 8, and then they had like 3 freshmen come out. And I was like, that's insane.
Bad, man.
Yeah, it's insane. And all those seniors are gone. So like now there's two seniors coming up. It's like, man,
that's tough.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you play football like that.
I actually played a school that graduated like 11 kids a year, and they my senior year, the last 3 games, one kid broke his leg, one kid, he was out for the rest of the season or something. I can't remember what he did, but they played 11-man football with 9 guys. They were in the I formation and just ran the ball up the gut. For 3 games.
That's insane.
Yeah, I felt so bad for that team, but that community is so proud. That's probably the best game day atmosphere because the town's only like 500 people. But they're all at that
500
stadium.
people behind 9 kids.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's good stuff.
They're the Van Loo Wildcats.
Yeah,
shout out Van Loo, the Lou. Heck yeah, man. They're all great kids though. I know a lot of guys, and they're great kids. A lot of them are just farm kids. They just want to play football, and then they go and farm their shit life.
Somebody,
Yeah. So, all right. So we will switch topics here. Football. Get to know more about Datz because he's involved in a lot here on campus. So starting out, we're going to ask you about your Sigma Nu, your fraternity.
Yes.
So I'm assuming being a fraternity, it's probably a big impact on your college experience. So how does it influence you, and what's your personal growth and development, and what's it like being in Sigma Nu?
So I guess first off, I just want to thank all the brothers of Sigma Nu. Those guys are. we pride ourselves on, first off, no hazing. That's number 1 rule of our fraternity specifically. And secondly, we're so close to each other. We have an open door policy. My door's open as we speak. So it's something that we pride ourselves on, just because, if somebody's really struggling with something, they can just come into my room, or I can go into their room, and we just chop it up. We talk it out. If there's ever any issues with each other, whatever case may be, just chop it up. Whatever we figure it out as men, and that's and I guess personal development wise, You know, we handle a lot of events around campus, specifically philanthropy events. And those have made me kind of realize, okay, there's more than just football. There's more than just school. There's more than just hanging out with your buddies. There's people in need that you can help, and that's what we do. That's one of our main missions, especially in all of Greek life. So yeah, it's been really cool to see our philanthropy's legacy of honor. So it's just based out in Louisville, wounded veterans, firefighters, etc., policemen. And we went to a big dinner, you know, to give them, it was like $500-ish, which, you know, it's not much, but anything for an organization that's, you know, smaller. It's been like it's been a great experience seeing that we can do something outside of campus, rather than just, you know, going to a football game on Saturday, tailgating, and then coming home and, you know, doing whatever. It's just, it gives you perspective that the world's bigger than, you know, just yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It doesn't really sound like your stereotypical like fraternity. It sounds like low key. It sounds like the brotherhood you kind of get in football, and it sounds like that's kind of like what you're saying. But also, it's like y'all care about people. Like that doesn't sound like a frat guy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
So,
I mean, you see Animal House and like the stupid fraternity movies. Which, by the way, Animal House, the actual fraternity house that they filmed in, was a Sigma Nu house. So.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Of course, you know that fact.
I got a couple. Paul Rudd was a Sigma Nu.
Paul Rudd was?
Yeah, Paul Rudd.
Oh,
was.
that's crazy.
Harrison Ford was a Sigma Nu.
No, it was not.
Yeah, I swear to God, look it up.
Oh man.
So yeah,
fact check this.
So, stuff like that. I mean, it's pretty cool. Eli Manning as well.
Eli Manning.
Archie Manning was too.
Oh.
So yeah, I mean, we learn about these whenever we first joined. So it's like embroidered into my head. So, yeah, no, it's most definitely more like a brotherhood. It's I mean, it sounds corny, you know, whatever. My girlfriend makes fun of me for it sometimes, but you know, whatever. It's like, and sometimes she's like, you know, you sound like a typical fraternity dude. Like you just sound so dumb. You sound like a douche. I'm like, shut up, you know, like whatever. But we do, like, we genuinely care about each other, which is the coolest thing in the world. Like I could turn next door and, I mean, if I'm having, you know, an issue with my family, and, you know, I could just tell the guy, hey, you know, I'm about to start break down and crying, like, and then we would figure it out. Like, and there's some things that, you know, people might know about me that might even, you know, my own family might not even know, just because it's, you know, sometimes it's hard to talk to your family about that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, same thing with myself. Like I might know something about, you know, one of my best buddies in there, and his family might not even know. So that's something that's really cool.
You feel like some of like your best friends are in the fraternity?
Yeah, so we're considered the townie fraternity. You know what townie is?
Like as a Lions citizen?
Yeah, like a, you know, Lions kid. You know, what if he was from West Branch or Marlington or something. But yeah, we got a lot of Alliance guys that I went to high school with and played football with too. So
okay,
that's actually how I got into it. So yeah, we kind of pride ourselves in that as well, having a lot of guys that are from Alliance.
Oh, okay. I mean, I really don't have any experience with fraternities. I'm someone that's really just locked in on like
cool.
doing YouTube, football. I mean, but that's another reason I do this podcast. It's like tell stories. I would love that you told me that, because like no idea. You're just some guy I sit with in health class.
Yeah, a lot of people don't really know, you know, what actually goes on within the houses on the campus. I mean, I can't really say for the sorority houses.
They're terrible.
I actually have no clue what goes on in there, but you know, at least for the fraternity houses, and you know, it's also, you know, it's a quote unquote pay for your friends, but at the same time, I mean, you're paying to have an experience and to have a bond with somebody, and multiple people, a deep growing bond that, you know, lasts forever. You know, you're a brother of Sigma Nu or a PKT or ATO or SCE for life. So I mean, you have a PIN number for life. So
that's really cool.
Yeah,
that's sweet. I mean, I really don't want to go from there, so we'll move on to the next topic.
Cool.
You're an EXS club, which I'm assuming exercise science club.
Yeah.
So focus on exercise science. Definitely intriguing as a physical education major.
Yeah.
So, what do you do? Like, what is it?
So yeah, it's kind of just we just have meetings about exercise physiology and how it pertains to athletes around the world. It's kind of more focused on cardiovascular endurance, but which is it's all right. It's not really just my cup of tea. Same thing with lifting club as well. I enjoy lifting weights. I know you're a lifting enthusiast, so yourself. So yeah, it's just kind of like something I'm interested in. So it's not a huge part of my life, but it's nice knowing what I'm doing to myself physically in the gym is backed up by science. So
yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I actually Dr. Barrett.
Yeah.
I talk to him all the time about supplements, and he actually came down with his class to indoor track today, and he said hi to me, and I was like, well, that's weird to see you here. But I love Dr. Barrett.
So. I've already said this to you, but I like when he says little. I
like when he does TH like 38 too.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know if it's Irish, Scottish, whatever, but it's fascinating.
He was saying that he has an Irish accent, but it's fading to American, and he's just learning to pronounce the other stuff. Like, it sounds American, they just 38.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know, yeah.
But he'll use the th sounder once in a while. But
I know.
It depends on the word.
I feel like he's faking it sometimes. Yeah.
He actually listens to my podcast. He watched
he
watched my strength and conditioning coach. I interviewed do you know Coach Kyle, the strength and conditioning coach?
Yeah. Is it T3 guy or no?
I don't think it's T3 guy.
Oh, okay. No.
It's some like blonde guy, blonde beard.
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
I wish I did. I want to meet him.
He's a really cool guy, and he knows his stuff.
That's good, yeah.
And he really works well with injured people as well. Like he is great with rehab if you ever need anything.
That's cool, yeah.
But speaking of lifting, right? You're in a lifting club. I actually saw the Instagram page of lifting club. Is it still an active thing?
Oh yeah, it is. It is. I'm kind of mad at lifting club right now. Actually, there was a 1,000-pound club challenge. Last semester.
I saw that.
And I sent in my video. No T-shirt yet. So
no T-shirt.
I guess they only got mediums and larges. So
what are what are your maxes? What do you max out at?
I don't really max out anymore, but high school, like 450 on squat, something like 300 on bench and 500 on deadlift or something like that.
My goodness.
Hang clean too. I wasn't too good at hang clean. I was like 285. So
my form is awful. I can't comprehend the catching and the landing on your shoulders. I just catch with my wrists.
Dude, it's a process. Like I caught myself. There's a video of me in my phone of me trying to hang clean. Something when I was a freshman, and I was like, I look stupid doing that. It's like throwing a ball when you're a kid. Like it's hard to do.
Yeah.
Especially if you've never done it before. But I'm a hang clean, power clean enthusiast. That's the best exercise for, especially explosion athletes like football players.
Yeah. One thing I love to do, I love just to squat and like literally get my butt to almost touch the ground and like just try to jump up.
A to G, man. A to G.
But like I get yelled at. In high school, they're like, good form. And then here, Coach Kyle is like, that's awful. Like, you need to like stop at parallel. And I'm like, because I just go too far down. Yeah. And like, so like, because like it affects my max. I can't max out as like much because I'm going too far down. It ruins it. So
yeah. Well, something that I kind of had experience with that as well. Something that a strength conditioning coach in high school told me was that, if you go lower, if you have the same form for everything, I mean, your maxes are going to go up as well. Like if you go, butt to the ground every single rep for, your 3 sets to 12, you're going to hit, 405 one time, butt to ground. Like you're going to hit that. So although it might not be, I guess going parallel isn't, and you can do it, but range of motion is one of the most important things. Time under tension, range of motion. So why wouldn't you just go full range of motion, keep your quads and your glutes under tension the entire time rather than just going parallel and then back up?
I guess the only thing I have to say back to that is Coach Kyle did tell me that when I do go too far down on my squat, I guess it like makes your knees bend, which like, and then also you loosen your knees, which like ruins the squat. I can't remember how to explain it, but something to do with your knees and like you basically release you stop tightening for a second, then you retighten to go back up.
Okay,
that's what happens when you go too far down.
Yeah.
So you kind of like let go and then retighten and go up.
I got to see your squat now, dude. Like, what the heck? Yeah. I want to know what you're doing wrong, dude.
Yeah, we'll lift together sometime. We'll lift together sometime for sure. And then you probably do way more than I do. I was doing 215 a day, doing like jump squats because I'm trying to work on my explosion. But yeah,
I do more bodybuilding stuff now. I don't really power lift anymore.
Yeah, the person who the co-host of Bench My Podcast on Instagram, check it out. He was gonna walk onto the Bowling Green's powerlifting team. He decided not to. But we were doing bodybuilding workouts all summer, and that man killed me because he was doing like Arnold's like workout, and dude, I mean, I felt huge by the end of the summer, but my body hated me for it.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, you feel. I mean, you're sore all the time. Dude. I mean,
because we're going to a failure, heavy weight.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, what me and my buddy have kind of learned. Like, we used to kind of do that with squat, kind of like the Tom Platt style, Arnold style. Like, do as many sets as you kind of can, do as many reps as you can with a certain weight, and just go hard. But we've kind of strayed away from that just because we legitimately started throwing up because it was that bad. Every single week we would just like start hacking up what we just ate. I mean, it's we tried changing everything else. We were like, you know what, let's just chill out. Let's do lighter weight, only 2 sets, just rep it out. It's really not for everybody. Like, and that stuff, you are always sore. I'm always sore. Like, my back right now, my back's sore. So, I mean, it's cool to see. I think muscle growth wise, really good for you. But your body is going to hit you for a while.
Well, like, being someone in exercise science, like I love. Well, you brought the point. Like, you love learning the science behind your lifts, but like I'm someone that's really big on also recovery.
Yes,
like recovery is so important. Like,
just as important.
Exactly, because I'm someone that really works my tail off, not to flex or anything, but like over the summer I was lifting at 6 a.m. and then I'd work at 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. at Little Caesars job. Yeah. I was doing that 5 days a week while lifting 5 days a week, and it's like, this can't be good because yes, I'm killing my body, but I'm not recovering. Yeah, and my thing is, like, I should be lifting probably like 2 days a week, take a full rest day of just laying in bed or like eating. I just feel like you need a full 24 hours, even maybe in 48 hours, to really get the most benefit out of your muscle growth. I feel like I really learned that this year in EXS 110. Shout out Dr. Barrett. And just even our health classes with Canfield Simbro, just the nutrition aspect of it and stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. Especially, and that's the great thing about protein, man. I love protein so much. Like, I cannot get enough. But
are you a creatine guy?
Yeah, I'm on some right now. But what I've kind of learned is I feel like your body gets used. I don't know if this is backed by science. I have not researched this at all, but me personally, I feel like my body gets used to it. So I kind of have to go off of it for like a week or two and then load back on and then feel strong again and get those extra 2 or 3 reps. But the great thing about protein is, that's kind of what recovers your muscles. So, good plate of chicken, rice and, whatever, asparagus or whatever kind of vegetable you like. That's the stuff that is going to help you recover a lot. And I stretch a lot too. That kind of helps. I'm not too big of a cold or heat guy though.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, I mean, there's most definitely benefits to it, but it just, me personally, I just don't. I mean, I'll take a cold shower once in a while, but stretching and eating correctly, I think, helps me a lot personally.
I'm the same way with that, except add one thing, which is the massage gun. I think as an athlete too, like breaking up the lactic acid in your legs and like when you're really stiff, that's the best way to do. Like, do a massage gun and then stretch. That's gonna be the best stretch you ever do in your life. So, and then the thing with your creatine as well, it's like, I agree. Like, I put on like 5-10 pounds when I started taking creatine, but I didn't gain any more weight, but I felt my muscles were more energized. I felt like I cramped less because I had a really big cramping problem on leg day, like especially in Nordic curls. Dude, my legs
just cramping up
every time. I can do
worse
one.
Than the hamstring cramp, man.
Yeah, and so but start taking creatine, no more cramps. Really? I feel like it really helped my muscles, just in terms of like not cramping. And
I most definitely feel more, not intestinally full, but like I feel like my muscles were just more full of water, really, and carbohydrates. Like I would eat maybe a tablespoon or 2 of honey, maybe some fruit snacks just an hour before my workout, and same thing after, and then a protein bar or something, or a shake. And that's kind of, I think that would help as well. But I think just like if I didn't do that, just solely based off of creatine, I think like my muscles just feel fuller, maybe not bigger, but fuller.
We also got to drink the right amount of water, so you can't drink creatine and not drink the water. Yep. I definitely still struggle with that because I'm a big like milk and Gatorade guy. Yes. So I need more water.
I love dairy. I love Gatorade, man.
The chocolate milk in the cafeteria is probably the best chocolate milk I've ever had.
Oh my gosh. I can't have it right now. I'm actually on a cut. So.
You're cutting? Oh man, that sucks.
I'm done till like December, like 20 something. So
yeah.
I got Christmas.
Yeah. Oh, well, what about Thanksgiving?
That'll be an adjustment day. That might be a quote unquote cheat day.
It's gotta be.
It's gotta be. Yeah.
So we'll take a pause here. I've been waiting to do this thing because your name. I'm not gonna tell you why. When you watch the video, you're gonna find out. But could you just turn, look at my phone, and just smile?
Smile?
Yeah. Just smile for like 2 seconds for me.
Smack that smiles back.
Thanks, Datz.
Smile.
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay.
Just 2 more seconds. Go
All
ahead.
right. Just.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm gonna edit something. Thanks, Datz. That's all I got. It's just thanks, Datz.
What do you got?
You're gonna watch it and you're gonna find out. I just had to do it. I was like, this is gonna be so funny. But thanks, Datz.
All right. That's all right.
Okay.
Cool.
Next question. Many athletes and coaches face challenges in their careers. Can you share a specific challenge you've encountered and how you overcame it and the lessons you learned from that experience? That could be playing or coaching.
That's a pretty good question. I guess something that I didn't struggle with as I was playing, but something that I look back on now and that I try to preach to my kids now, is the importance in being conscious while you're training, while you're practicing, while you're there with your buddies, your coaches or whatever. And I regret this. I kind of took it for granted. Like I kind of got complacent at a D3 school. It's kind of small. I was the only tight end on the team. So it was kind of hard because I didn't have anybody to push me. So I became kind of complacent. I didn't really know at the time, like I said, but looking back on it now, there was a lot more that I could have done. There was a lot that I did, but there was a lot more that I could have done. That might just be the perfectionist side of me, but that's just something that I kind of regret not doing enough, either in the weight room, eating enough, eating the right things, practicing better, maybe just being more conscious at practice, maybe connecting with my coaches more, whatever it is. I kind of fell into the loop of complacency, and that I think about that sometimes. It kind of sucks, but
I mean, for like your own, I guess, mental state, like don't hate yourself for it because everybody feels like they could do more.
Yeah.
Like I always feel like I could do more. Like I got 7 balls thrown my way. 2 of them went over my head, but 2 of them hit my hands. I dropped them. I could have been 5 for 7 in my senior year, but I went 3 for 7. And I always told myself like I could have done this. I could have done this. I did what was best for me at the time, and I did what my abilities were. What I was capable of, and I mean, I built those relationships with my teammates. I did what I did at the time, and like that's obviously, I mean, you're here. You know what I'm saying? You are here today, college student, doing whatever. Like, just don't let it eat you up.
Yeah.
Because like
everybody, I try not to.
Like I'm sure this thing yesterday. I'm like, I mean, I could eat another burger. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
Just don't let it eat you up because everybody feels like they can do more.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's a great thing to preach to players. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Come from a small school, I guess I definitely had that problem with not someone when there's very few people there to push me. Very few, and that's why I've been such an individual person, I guess. And I had but I had a few guys. But what really pushed me was bullying. Like I got bullied in my high school, and that helped me be like, oh, I suck. Okay, I'm gonna go lift more weights, and like, so that was one thing. And then here, the reason I don't transfer is because I'm the worst in the depth chart, and the only place to go is up. Yeah, that's what you gotta look at.
Right. Yeah, that's perspective.
Do I want to be the best at a crappy D3 back home?
Heck
no, I want to be
like
the
capital.
worst. Yeah, exactly. I want to be the worst at the best.
Right. Exactly.
Work your way up.
Right. Exactly. No, I know what you mean. That's awesome. That's a really good perspective to have. That might be something I add to my repertoire.
You got to
coaching. So
yeah, I'm definitely using when I coach. Like, hey, your coach sucked, so this is what we're gonna do. But yeah, okay, that was a good answer, though. I like that answer. But high school football often builds strong camaraderie among teammates. How was your experience in high school football influence your coaching style and leadership within the sport?
I kind of follow. I'm a big Steelers guy. Go Steelers! Play the Packers this week. So Mike Tomlin's always been a guy that I look at. Even when I was really younger, like I look at him like he's a player coach. He's somebody who cares about the players and tries to get the best out of the players. And like I said earlier, I mean this ties into that. Like your personnel is the biggest thing on your team. If you have a kid who's really good and he's all state whatever, but he's a hothead. You got to figure out a way to keep him from doing that. Maybe that's just, having a word that you say to him, and you've had deep talks with the kid over the past couple of seasons, and you just have a word you say to the kid, and he's just like, all right, cool, and he's locked in. Like, you know what I mean? Like little stuff like that that I feel like coaches should have at least a little bit in their repertoire is super, super important. And the personal side of football, that's obviously, it as well, playing too. Like, I don't know how many kids you had on your varsity, football team, but having that close knit group it's the world, man. It's awesome. It's awesome.
You said Mike Tomlin, and I actually brought this up in the last podcast, but Mike Tomlin, he has a clip. This, I guess, another question I'm asking because it's kind of off topic, but he said that he was so frustrated that he can never be the player that he wanted to be.
Yeah, dude.
And you seen that clip?
Stop, yeah.
And I have that saved in my Instagram, and I look at it from time to time. It's like he's so frustrated that he can never be the player that he wanted to be, so he's a coach.
Yeah.
And it's like, so what are your thoughts on that?
Every kid who's playing football, baseball, whatever, they want to be that MLB star, that NFL star, NBA star, whoever it is, MLH, whatever, MLS, sorry. They want to make the big leagues. Like that's your dream as a kid. So I guess I wouldn't say he's regretful. I would just say that he has the perspective of someone who wishes he could be something like that. I'm not saying he's resentful either, or
it's realistic.
Yeah, he's like, you know what, I was a good player, but I wasn't a great player, so I couldn't get to that next level. And I love the perspective he has on a lot of things, and that's something like that's big right there for me.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I have a problem with is, especially at the college level, but there's a huge psychology aspect to sports. And one I like to reflect on is the 4-minute mile. Nobody thought you could run a 4-minute mile until it was done. And a lot of people thought it's not the ability, it's the mind saying you can't, it's not possible. And I feel like that's a big thing with coaches. Like some coaches that they've been blunt with me, and they're like, you're never going to be good enough. Like I've been told that by coaches, like, you're never going to be good enough.
Yeah.
I actually had a coach this last year who told me I probably should transfer, but he's gone now. So
He transferred, man.
Yeah, he's transferred. But like, that's totally gonna ruin an athlete's. I'm pretty strong-willed, pretty strong-minded. So like, I'm not gonna let it get to me. But some people, that's like, okay, I'm done. Like, you can't. I feel like you shouldn't tell somebody they can't do something, because I feel like it's not even the physical. I feel like it's psychological.
Yeah.
Do you agree or disagree with that?
No, I will never tell a kid to quit. That's, I'm sorry, but that's horrible coaching. I think even at the college level, I would never tell a kid to quit playing football.
I guess the way he put it was, you can stay here and win a national championship.
Right.
You can transfer somewhere and try to play somewhere else. But he said, as long as you stay here, you'll never be good enough to see the field.
That's kind of also, like, I guess not quitting in general, but I would never tell a kid to get away from myself. You know what I mean? Or to go to a different school because you have a better chance of playing. Although that might be subjectively or objectively good advice, maybe, who knows? But it doesn't matter. I wouldn't. That's just me personally. I wouldn't tell a kid to go do that, even if I thought that was in maybe their best interests. I would push myself to coach the kid harder and try to give him as many reps as he can, because obviously he's here for a reason. You're here for a reason. So why should I not coach you rather than Wayne or DJ from a couple of years ago? Like, I would, like, that's just me personally. And I'm, like I said, I kind of think of the player aspect of it too, because I just stopped playing. So that's just something that I would want my coach to do.
Yeah.
So.
And for clarification, I don't want to hate on that coach. He was a great coach, and we had a really good conversation, man to man, and like, it was a very positive conversation. Like,
I'm sure,
it seemed like he was looking for my best interest.
Yes, yeah.
But that's basically what he was saying to me.
Yeah.
But I feel like I had a really good fall camp. I'm not gonna lie, and I want to shout out Coach Miller here. He was a tight ends coach, played in the NFL. If you guys wanted to research on the guy, he actually told the freshmen, because I was down with scout team, even as a sophomore, I was down with scout team during fall camp, and Coach Miller's like, like, if you have any questions and you guys can get a hold of me, talk to Caleb. Caleb knows his stuff. I can trust him to be down here with you guys. The reason I have him down here is to work with you guys. And I was like, that's awesome.
That's
like
cool.
Coach Miller like really said that about me. He's like, he trusts me to like coach these guys up. So that was a really cool feeling. But then I broke my pinky the next day.
If I had, I'm gonna kind of flirt with you here. I'm just kidding. But if I had a kid like you at the high school level, that'd be super, super awesome. You know, whatever. I'm not saying you're not good enough, but if I had a kid that wasn't good enough, but he worked hard and he did his stuff and he did what he needed to do and took the extra mile on top of that, I would kill for a kid like that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. I take a lot of pride in what I do. But also, like, it sounds so bad because there's always a saying, like, go all in on your plan A, don't have a plan B. But, like, I'm not going to lie, YouTube being CF3 is my plan B. Like, if I don't make it past college, because I'm trying to play football as long as I can. I'm also trying to coach. Like, I want to be a great coach. Yeah. But I'm going to use YouTube as a way to fund my playing journey. Right. Like, I'll probably go home and, like, play semi-pro. And, like, so, like, it's not really quitting for me because I'll probably still try to find an avenue of playing. Always be around.
Yeah. Right. And, like, I feel like I can definitely instill some kids with the mentality that I have. I just feel like I'm very personable. And, I mean, that's why I'm doing this podcast as well. Yeah. But, yeah, I appreciate that, though. Yeah. So. All right. So, on that really somber and sentimental note, we're going to move on. What are some key differences between playing high school football and your brief college experience?
Speed of the game is number one. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. It's pretty quickly. I mean, even at the high school level, like from JV to varsity, the speed of the game is just, I mean, it's quicker. There's, you have to have a faster reaction time. And there's a huge physical aspect of that as well. Like, can you move fast enough to block that guy? Can you move fast enough to run the correct route? So, yeah, I guess in short, all aspects of football are different. But, everybody at Mount, I kind of got slapped in the face with this. Everybody's good. Every tight end's good. Every offensive line's good. Every wide receiver's good, whatever. Every kid has had their journey, and every player on that team is a really good player, and that's why they're at Mount.
100%.
So yeah.
Do you feel like you adapted those differences though? Like when you actually playing, like do you feel like you went from Alliance High School to Mount? Like, okay, I can do this. Did you feel like you could adapt?
Yeah, no, I think I adapt pretty well. On my fourth day of actual camp, I was caught up to White. Not I mean to brag, but
he's that good. He's that guy.
I think I adapted to the way Coach Miller coached as well. I mean, that's something that's pretty important. Like if you don't figure out, okay, this is what we're doing today, and this is how he's going to coach it. So I need to kind of lock it in a certain way, and do this drill correctly, so I can move up the depth chart. That's something that you got to be able to adjust to as well.
I saw this question. So being in your hometown, and like you said, you adapt to Coach Miller. Like for me, I come from a small town, and like I said, everybody just goes to the closest college, doesn't play sports. Some do, but they usually quit after a year. Like it's not a big thing for my school to go play college sports. But a lot of our coaches, they just go to college and come right back and start teaching, and they use the same football style that they did back in when we first became a school. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like I can't go to my coaches about college football. Like I try to talk to my head coach, and I just we're two different people. Yeah, like because he has no experience playing college sports. Right. And we have one person on the staff, and he quit during fall camp his freshman year. So like,
okay, yeah. So it's he didn't get the the full
exactly. But do you feel like you can go to your alliance coaches, and so like they're literally in your backyard, and then like to complain? I don't say complain about Coach Miller, but like to talk about, okay, this is what I'm doing in football. Like, did you feel like you had that in your back pocket, or?
Yeah, a lot of guys on the alliance staff went to play college football, so it was actually kind of the opposite of me. I was kind of the guy that quit, so I was like. But I still played through the full season. I kind of understood how college football worked. Although, maybe at a higher level than they might have played, doesn't really matter. It was easier to talk to them about, especially we actually had a guy that went here, all-star tackle, from here. So, but yeah, it was easier to talk to them about, why I quit, because they also understood, like, okay, yeah, I get it. But at the same time, just schematically, football-wise, they kind of understood as well. It's not like talking to somebody who's only played high school football or only coached high school football. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. That's like I said, like I just thought that question because like I don't have that at all. Like I feel like I'm a man on my own from my village. Like I'm just like everybody goes to Bowling Green. Everybody goes to Bowling Green, comes right back. We have like Bluffton University.
Yeah.
Bluffton?
Yeah.
It's 10 minutes from my village. If you want to play sports, you go there and you come right back.
Yeah, I was recruited by there.
Really?
It was I didn't never take a visit, but
Good.
I got a text.
It's nothing special.
Yeah, it didn't really seem like it.
Yeah, it's really nothing.
Didn't really seem like it.
Yeah, but that's a really common place. A lot of people just go to Bluffton because 10 minutes from the village and they come right back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we've actually had some good basketball players go over there, but in terms of football, like no one makes it past fall camp for their freshman year.
Yeah,
we actually have a D-line coach who's actually a really good D-line coach, but he only played there for a year. He was an all-conference D-lineman as a freshman, and he's like, I don't want to play no more.
Sometimes, man, dude, it's like that, man. It's like, although I'm a good player, like, although you might think it's wasted talent, like, I just don't want to do it anymore. It's just something I don't want to do, so deal with it.
Speaking of that wasted talent, I envy guys that get D1 offers from my high school because, like, small village schools, that's not a common thing at all.
Yeah.
And these guys are just dominating, and a lot of these guys are like, I'm going to miss home if I leave, or I'm just going to work at Walmart. Like, I know so many guys had D1 offers, and either they went D1 for a year and transferred like D2 or D3 closer to home because they missed home, or they just rather sit on their mom's couch. We had a really good running back who I envy, and he just like he's working. I mean, he's doing his life, but like it's like, man, you had an opportunity to like really go somewhere, and you just like decided to go.
And he didn't. Yeah.
They go. I mean, there's nothing wrong with going to the workforce, but it's like I would die to be in your position.
I know. Yeah. It's also perspective as well, just because. And maybe that guy doesn't, maybe he's just like, it's cool and all. I get money for it, but it just doesn't sound appetizing, And, everybody's got their own thing. But I would also, I kind of ponder sometimes, and I talk to my buddies about it, like, what if I did go to like a Division I school? Like, would I still be playing today? Like, would I, be the person I am today? It's a fun thought to think about. But yeah, I get what you mean though. Like.
Well, there's a saying. I think David Goggins said this, or some like crazy like lifter said this. It's like if you look to your left, there's someone that you're admiring that you wish you could be, and you look to your right, and there's some little dork that wishes it could be you. And that's the way you gotta look at it, because like when I went home for our senior night, and I had so many guys like CF3, it's CF3, and it's like that's crazy. People know that about me in my small village, because like I was a dork my junior year of high school. And senior year, I was like, I'm CF3. So it was a crazy transition. But what were your offers at a high school?
I only had offers from Finley's 20
minutes from me.
Wheeling, in University in West Virginia. And Mount was an offer. And there was one more I'm forgetting about. I had a bunch of texts. Other than that, not really much.
Were you just like so focused on it's Mount Union that you didn't even consider the D2s?
No, actually, when I got those offers, I was like, yep, we're going there. Like I did not want to come. I did not want to stay in town, which was kind of like, that's weird to me. Like I could not imagine going to a university 3 hours away from me. Like I don't know. I don't know if it's just weird, but like I think my thinking was, I'll go to Mount, I'll be around family. Be around people I know for 4 more years, and then I'm gonna move off to somewhere else. So, I don't know. It was a weird transition, but
Well, my thing is like you gotta grow up eventually, and
right.
from being from a village which is like an eighth of Alliance, it's like yes, I miss home, but when I go home, I realize there's nothing there for me. Like that's kind of the way I think about it. Like, oh yeah, I wish I could go back home and play football, but it's like there's nothing there for me, so I might as well just keep going what I'm doing.
Yeah, no opportunities. I mean,
exactly. And there's come from a village. We call it small town syndrome. People that leave call it small town syndrome because people just think the entire world is Arlington, Ohio. Like it's like, oh, we're like this is everything. This is it. Yeah, it's like no, there's so much more to this world. Like I would love to go back and coach because we run the wishbone. I'm like, hey, there's a thing called the spread offense. It's new. It's really good.
Yeah, there's pro, con. There's trips left. Like
exactly.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, let's run something different.
No, we just got pitch right and pitch left.
There's something called the shotgun. Come on, dude.
Exactly. But like, I just can't deal with small mind. Like because I was talking to some of my older coaches, they're also my old teachers, and they were like, well, what are you doing in college? I said, well, I'm doing physical education, but I'm really trying to pursue a social media career. And they're just like looking at me dumbfounded. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, filming, doing, I guess media.
Right.
I'm just trying to pursue any door that will open for me. Like this podcast is something I really wanted to do. So hopefully this opens a door for me. Yeah. But it's a headache being around such small-minded people, and I feel like everybody's like so accepting of my visions and thoughts here. Yeah. Like my professors like me. I feel like I have good classmates. I have great teammates, and I feel like there's always gonna be the haters, but like I feel like everybody's so open-minded here. I love that. Yeah. So that's why I went 3 hours.
I think so too. I think the professors here, although there's issues here at Mount with the professors and such, I think education-wise and exercise science, because I've had experience in that as well, are the best teachers, mentors, professors I've ever had. Like they're really good. I mean, Dr. Peets, CS, Barrett. I mean, those guys, Mendel. Those guys are awesome.
I haven't met Mendel yet, but I'm excited to meet him.
He's a cool guy. He's super smart, man.
I think I'll have him for I'll have Barrett for 220. But we're doing Mendel in the health class, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you have a chance to like talk to him, like a full conversation about anything related to exercise science, do it, because you'll learn something. It's cool, man. Yeah.
That's cool. All right. So based on your various involvements, such as coaching, fraternity life, club activities, how do you like balance your personal life and academics along with all that?
I mean, it's kind of difficult, especially during the season when I'm coaching, but I have plenty of time at night to do whatever I need to do. And the classes, especially education, aren't too demanding, especially workload wise. So I'm a pretty organized person as well. Like I got a planner in my computer on my phone. Like, I got it all kind of, I guess, figured out. But
it's good.
But yeah, it's super difficult, especially in college. Like I've never had such a busy life ever, and not as much money as I need. Like I'm broke.
See, I save up really well over the summer, and then I spend it all like on football gear, just dumb stuff.
I know. It's like today, should I cook today? Man, I'm tired. Let's just go get Chipotle. And that's where it comes from, man. It's like, oh, my girlfriend. Oh, it's birthday. Got to get something.
Yeah. Okay. So you're also a first generation college student. I know you said you're in first gen.
Yeah.
So like, do you have any advice for like first generation students?
Soak it all in, man. Like you gotta know, like maybe your parents just, it wasn't for them, whatever. Like my dad was a welder, or is a welder now still. And it just wasn't for him. It's something that he didn't really want to do. So know that and put it all into perspective. So, and know that, you're also creating opportunities for your children and your children's children. So, and, create that cycle.
Gotcha. So. And are you a physical education major, or are you
Okay. PE major, health licensure, I guess, and then exercise science minor.
So is your goal to like go back to Alliance and coach and be a teacher there, or like what's your...
I don't really want to stay in Alliance. I'm not gonna lie. I've had this conversation with Chloe Orzo. Shout out.
Shout out the girl.
Yeah. We most definitely will move somewhere down south. But I mean, although it's nice coaching at where I graduated high school from, and it's all good feelings over here, but it's too cold over here, man. It's too cold up here. Plus, I want to have the opportunity to teach and coach different kids. So
like a variety.
Yeah.
For me, it's like if I get YouTube going, I feel like the possibilities are endless with what I can do.
Yeah.
But in terms of like my college football career and like finishing out that, I have an opportunity in 5th year and pursue. I think I might want to pursue a master's in coaching. But like,
sure.
There's so limited schools, and it's like, do I want to stay here because we have it here?
Yeah.
Or do I want to go somewhere? In 5th year, and like I thought I could like maybe 5th year across the country. It'd be cool if I have enough money saved up or something. And I also have a girlfriend who wants to move and travel.
Right.
She actually want to be the flight attendant. I'm like, you want to go do that? Like that's crazy.
Geez, that's a lot of traveling, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know.
But then like I want to go home and help my high school. Like, we can do something different here. You know, if my head coach is willing, and also I want to play for the semi-pro team back home because they play in a nice stadium. They have really cool uniforms. Like I know the area, and also like my girlfriend is on the opposite side of the city. So if we live in the middle of the city, where the semi-pro team is, I can drive home, drive her place. Like,
it's easy. Yeah, easier for you.
I just like that's why I'm battling it. Like, do I want to stay or do I want to go? I'm already 3 hours from home. Like, I'm already traveling. I'm already doing my thing.
It's difficult, man. Because I mean, obviously, I'm sure you want to stay close to family. Family, girlfriends, friends, whatever. But at the same time, you gotta go your own journey. Do whatever you need to do to succeed, or do whatever you want to do to that you love.
I think it's that same mindset as there's nothing for me behind me. It's like I gotta keep going forward.
Right. Exactly.
So, so last question here. Finally, what advice would you give to someone who is looking to balance their passions and commitments as effectively as you have?
You gotta stay dedicated. Although, you might not be as motivated that day. I myself, and even the great David Goggins, the craziest guy in the world, he's not motivated every single day. No one is. You have to stay dedicated. Whether that's your diet, whether that's your workout plan, whether that's just doing your schoolwork, or maybe it's having a better relationship with your father or mother or your rest of your family. You got to stay dedicated. You're not always going to be motivated. That's what I think people mess up a lot. So staying dedicated in everything that you do and trying to be that perfectionist is also something that I would suggest.
I love that. I think part of it too is like you got to have the passion for it. Like, you can be dedicated, but like passion's not there. There's no point in doing it.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we will close out here. This is Andrew Datz, my good classmate, good friend. If you guys want to see Datz again, leave a like, leave a comment. Datz, anything you want to say? Any social medias you want to shout out? Anything like that?
Just shout out the guys at Sigma Nu. Shout out Mount Union, really. In general, they do a lot to help out with Greek life in general, and for the students. Although it might not seem that way, they do. Just shout out everybody that's helped me to get to this certain point in my life. So.
That's wholesome. That's really wholesome. Yeah. All right, boys. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.